Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus Channel. All nations' militaries rely heavily on armories to protect and store weaponry. Without them, soldiers and Marines would be forced to keep their weaponry with them or in less secure areas, potentially causing havoc. Military armories originated as secure facilities for storing weapons and ammunition, dating back to ancient civilizations. These structures evolved from simple fortified warehouses to sophisticated facilities, incorporating maintenance workshops, security systems, and climate control to preserve military equipment and munitions. Military armory specialists oversee weapon accountability, security, and maintenance in secure installations. Their responsibilities include inventory management, weapon inspection, procedure issuance, and regulatory compliance. They guarantee that weapons are combat ready while imposing rigorous access protocols.
This is the job. You know, get to come here and go to work, give out guns. I have to be here, my weapon needs to go out, my Marines need their weapons to go. Rifle qual, pistol qual. Maybe guys are going out somewhere, maybe they have some kind of deployment going on, maybe they have some exercise that needs their weapon, you know. I need to be here, because why? That's mission accomplishment.
Armories provide secure storage for guns, ammunition, and military equipment. They help to maintain accountability, offer maintenance support, limit access, assure correct weapon condition, and allow for the rapid deployment of weaponry during training or operations.
There's a lot that goes into it, and as a team back here, we try our best to maintain everything, make sure everything is operational, and go from there.
When drawing weapons, troops sign them out using ID verification and documentation procedures. Each weapon's serial number is logged. After training, troops clean weapons, undergo inspection, and formally check them back in. Armorers verify condition before securing weapons in designated storage. A good example is the 341st Security Support Squadron Armory at Malmstrom Air Force Base, which is constantly operational and supports nuclear security duties. As Global Strike Command's largest 24-hour facility, it maintains weapons and equipment for security forces guarding missile fields and base assets. Armorers also maintain and repair weapons in designated armory workspaces to ensure operational readiness. Yellow tags help to identify weapons that need to be maintained or inspected before they may be returned to duty. This visual approach aids in the identification of firearms that are temporarily inoperable and prevents their inadvertent issuance.
Our all-time purpose for here Station Armory is to support anything that goes on station-wide. So if we have Operation Backbone coming up, that's us supporting it. If we have other units coming for field ops or field meets or anything, the Army coming for Border Patrol, that's us supporting them by storing their weapons, storing their ammo, and just providing them with any type of support that they need.
When troops check out weapons, the serial numbers are recorded. If a soldier reports a malfunction, the weapon is promptly marked for inspection, noted in maintenance logs, and a replacement weapon is supplied. Armorers evaluate all weapons upon their return, and any damaged ones are repaired or replaced.
For the most part, whenever they actually are turning in the actual weapon system, if they notice something's wrong, especially whenever they do come out to fire as well, and it'll get tagged, letting them know that there is something wrong with it, and then they'll actually bring it out to the combat arms individuals. They will fix it if they can. If it is fixed, they'll come back here and it'll be operational.
To ensure that no round is in the chamber, the armorers issue weapons with the bolt pulled back and the weapon on safe, so the chamber is visible. When the weapon is issued, the airman or soldier receiving the rifle investigates the chamber and confirms that it's clear.
Okay, so when they're on the racks, they're in rack safe, so it's on semi and the bolt is forward. And when we issue it to people, we're gonna lock the bolt to the rear so you can see that it's clear and put it on safe, so that we can issue it to them and they can say safe, clear. And then when they give it back to us, they'll give it back to us safe, clear. And then we clear down, we send the bolt forward, put it on semi, pull the trigger, close the dust cover, and make sure the M68's off. And that's rack safe. That's how all the weapons stay on the racks.
After safety, record keeping is critical in an armory. Armory personnel use serialized inventory cards and digital technologies to keep precise weapon stock records. Each weapon has a card that records maintenance history, inspections, and assignments. Custodians conduct regular inventory, log all transactions, and ensure that every serialized object is strictly accountable. One problem that arose throughout the years was that armories were designed to store weapons and their accessories, but there was no space to keep downgrades. Older accessories were stored wherever there was space, leaving the armory cluttered. Systems like armory storage solutions were developed to make the armory space more user-friendly.
Honestly, everything's more organized. They've got more space. We didn't have very much space in our cage. It was pretty small from the get-go. It helped with all the pistols and the rifles for sure.
During guard mounting, the armory works with guard commanders to issue weapons according to stated duties. Troops show appropriate identification and documentation, sign out their allocated weapons by serial number, and perform function checks. After shifts are completed, weapons are returned, examined, and logged back into inventory. Guard mounts also help commanders inspect their troops.
Prior to guard mount, I pretty much arm up the entire flight, give them all the equipment and their weapons that they're going to be using for the day. Pretty much all the posted patrols will routinely get an M9 pistol. They'll get an M4 carbine, and then they'll also get a choice of at least one less than lethal weapon, either a taser or a baton.
There are also much older weapons in the armory at Marine Barracks, Washington. For ceremonial events, the U.S. Marine Corps Silent Drill Platoon utilizes the M1 Garand rifle. The Garand dates from World War II, and the 500 still left need to be maintained and sometimes repaired since they are often thrown into the air.
So rifles aren't meant to be slammed on the deck or thrown in the air and things like that. So normally when like wood breaks and things, it depends on like how it breaks, how we have to glue it together, and sometimes we have to get in there with the drill and like put some dowel rods in to help it like reinforce itself. And we have to make certain SOPs to make sure Marines aren't shaving their stocks down too much.
Even more rare are the precision weapons repairmen of the Marine Corps. There are 200,000 Marines. From them, only 60, that's 60, can repair precision weapons. They are not only capable of repairing these weapons, but can build sections such as the barrel from just a blueprint. Once the barrel has been built using a lathe, it is tested with live rounds before becoming operational. Another interesting job in the U.S. military involves recycling brass cartridges. Every Saturday, the 502nd Civil Engineer Squadron's Recycling Center at Joint Base San Antonio-Lackland processes between 15,000 to 25,000 pounds of old brass cartridges. These casings range in size from 9mm to 50 caliber. The sorting process requires a thorough inspection to remove non-brass materials such as metal links and any live rounds that may have been mingled with expensed casings. After sorting, the brass is mutilated to prevent its reuse as ammunition components. Without recycling, these cartridges would end up in landfills, wasting valuable brass and potentially seeping chemicals into the soil. The recycled brass provides revenue, which is reinvested back into the unit and recycling activities. Military brass casings typically comprise 70% copper and 30% zinc, making them desirable for recycling. Given the military's intensive training requirements, millions of rounds are fired each year, making this recycling operation both environmentally responsible and cost-effective.
We have a large table out there where we spread the brass out, because we're searching for live rounds. Make sure it's clean before we can put it up for sale.
Military brass recycling involves manual and automated techniques for disposing of expended ammunition. All types of metals can be recycled. In the case of brass, spent rounds are thoroughly sorted and processed at locations like JBSA and the Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station. The improved spent brass sorter system can process 5,000 rounds per hour with only 2 to 3 personnel, replacing earlier techniques that required 15 to 20 workers. The SBS takes photographs, noting the caliber, condition, and if the rounds have been fired. It classifies ammunition by size and removes broken or inverted cartridges. This device increases safety by guaranteeing that live bullets do not enter the deformer. After sorting, cartridges pass through a deformer that deforms them, preventing reloading. In larger plants, the process handles between 15,000 and 25,000 pounds of brass every day. Materials are properly weighed and documented before being sold for recycling, which generates cash for base operations. Programs often pay for themselves, with some establishments earning approximately $40,000 annually from recycled materials.
In 2017, 2018, that's when the idea started. Munitions initiated the thought, and they were big proponents of bringing a deformer here on base. But without the means of disposing it or recycling of it properly in accordance with the federal, state, and Air Force regulations, it wouldn't have been feasible to do so. So over years, a couple of years, I worked with Munitions to basically start an innovative process to add recycling of the deformed brass to our integrated solid waste management contract. And ever since then, in 2020, it has been working out fantastic.
From smaller calibers to larger caliber aircraft munitions. Munitions production begins in specialized manufacturing facilities, where government contractors and experienced workers assemble components with perfect accuracy. These facilities manufacture everything from chassis and electrical components to fins and navigational systems. Quality control is crucial throughout the manufacturing process. Munitions are properly packed and sent to munition squadrons on military sites after they have been produced. These squadrons keep safe storage facilities, conduct routine inspections, and prepare armaments for loading onto aircraft. The procedure includes stringent rules for handling, maintenance, and accountability. The final phase involves munitions professionals collaborating with aircraft maintenance crews to securely load and connect weapons to the aircraft, ensuring proper integration with the aircraft systems. From production to deployment, this process necessitates precision and dependability at all stages.
Today we're actually drilling some tight tolerance holes to attach the vertical stabilizer to the fuselage.
You get to see the men and the women come through here who actually use the product we're building, and then it helps us understand more on why we do what we do here and why we do our best to build a quality product for those who are actually flying and maintaining the F-15.
Units such as the 35th Munitions Flight at Misiwa Air Base in Japan and the 379th Expeditionary Maintenance Squadron Munitions Flight in the Middle East keep massive stocks of precision-guided munitions, conventional bombs, and countermeasure devices. These facilities follow rigorous security measures and handle anything from small arms ammo to powerful air-to-air missiles. The 48th Munitions Squadron at RAF Lakenheath and the 51st Munitions Squadron at Osan Air Base assure constant readiness by performing precise inventory management, maintenance, and munitions buildup activities for combat and training missions.
We supply an offensive line as well as a defensive line. We keep the aircraft and our people safe, but we also can eliminate threats. We exist all over the world, every career field, every branch, every military. Start with ammo, pretty much the first link in the chain.
Getting the munitions to their locations is a vast logistical undertaking. Units like the 379th Expeditionary Logistics Readiness Squadron at Al Udeid Air Base oversee the essential task of properly delivering armaments from secure storage locations to flight lines. The same can be said of the 86th Munitions Squadron in Germany, which manages inbound cargo, guaranteeing proper storage and accountability. Each movement necessitates meticulous paperwork, particular routing, and escort protocols. The process includes numerous checkpoints and safety checks, with logistical teams working closely with security forces and weapons personnel throughout the transfer operation. This enables continuous support for combat and training activities worldwide. Transportation companies conduct logistics operations, carrying ammunition to sites such as Crane Army Ammunition Activity and others. Various offloading methods are used. In one method, each truck approaches the designated drop-off spot individually, adhering to rigorous safety measures. The driver positions the vehicle according to markings. Containerized munitions are removed from the truck using specialized ISO container handling equipment. Once cleared, the first truck exits, and the next truck advances to the precise location. This synchronized process continues with military precision. Throughout the operation, Support personnel examine documentation and inspect containers to ensure that munitions are transferred safely and securely. From manufacture to storage, deployment, and used brass recycling, military ammunition management is a complicated yet efficient system that ensures global preparedness. Each phase, from secure transport operations by transportation companies to storage protocols at facilities worldwide to innovative recycling programs, helps to maintain permanent readiness. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.